Hello everyone, welcome back to another class. On today's video, we're going to be talking about metamorphic rocks and the rock cycle. Stay with me until the end so we can cover all these points, okay? First of all, let's talk about, let's review how sedimentary rocks and igneous rocks are formed. Sedimentary rocks are formed when a big rock is broken down into tiny pieces. So these tiny pieces of rock are carried away either by water, wind, or other elements in nature, okay? So these little pieces of rock settle or they remain in one place. So they start to settle on top of each other. And when that happens, that creates a layer. And like that, more and more layers are formed, okay? And that's how the sedimentary rocks are formed. Ignis rocks, as we learned on the previous video, we learned that they are formed either inside volcanoes or outside in the outside of a volcano. Okay? Remember that it happens when the magma and the lava cool down, and so they harden or become really hard. Okay. Well, let's cover the second point. Before you understand what a metamorphic rock is, you need to understand what metamorphosis is. I'm going to divide the word in two so you can understand. I divided the word in meta and morph. Meta means change, okay? And morph means form. In other words, or in simple words, a metamorphosis is a change in form. Now, take a minute to think about this. So, what is a metamorphic rock then? So, a metamorphic rock is a rock that goes through a change, okay? This rock is changed by the heat and the pressure. You need to remember that in the earth crust, rocks are under a lot of pressure and heat. So these heat and pressure causes the rock at some point to change, okay? But when the rocks change, it doesn't mean that they melt or something like that. No, it only the rocks only change in form. They go through a transformation or a metamorphosis, right? So, and that's what a metamorphic rock is. Now, I'm going to explain you the rock cycle. Please look at the picture that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so if you notice, the rock cycle in the picture begins in a volcano, right? With an igneous rock. So the igneous rock eventually starts to break down into little pieces, which they later become a sediment. Okay, so these sediments they settle and they become a layer, and later they become really hard. So that creates a sedimentary rock. So if this rock, a sedimentary rock, is put under a lot of pressure and heat, this rock will change into a metamorphic rock. Okay, and then the metamorphic rock can also change or can also become magma, right? If the metamorphic rock is under a lot of heat and pressure, it will turn into magma, right? And then the magma will later become an igneous rock, and so on. This process never stops. Okay, so you need to remember that all the types of rocks can become metamorphic rock, okay? An igneous rock can become a metamorphic rock. A sedimentary rock can also become a metamorphic rock, and so on, okay? So this process never stops. And basically, that's what you need to know about the rock cycle. All right, so we already covered the 4 points. So remember, so a metamorphic rock is a rock that goes through a change, right? And the change is caused by the heat and the pressure that is in the earth crust, okay? And in the same way, that's how the other rocks change, as I explained in the rock cycle. So remember that if you have more questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone. Deja, eso se borra, eso se borra.
Otra vez.
No, deja, eso se borra.
Sí, apúrate.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to... Espérate, deja, que eso se borra. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another class. On today's lesson, we're going to be learning about metamorphic rocks.